Hello, everyone, and welcome to something a little bit different from me. As we head into the traditional autumn/winter event of All Hallows Eve and All Saints' Day, I thought I'd bring you my version or my rendition of Rabbie Burns' epic poem Tam O Shanter, which is about just such type of events. This version comes from the Scottish Poetry Library, so thanks to them. I'll put a link in the description to them. And as Gavin Douglas said of this very poem, of brownies and bogles, full is this book. When Chapman Billies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy and getting fou and uncahappy, we think na on the lang Scot smiles, the mosses, water, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth fund honest Tam O Shanter, as he frae air ae night did canter, auld air, wham ne'er a tune surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. Oh, Tam, hadst thou but been sae wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November till October ae market day thou wasna sober. The ilka melder wi the miller, thou sat as lang as thou had siller, that every nag was cast a shoe on the smith, and he got roaring foo on, that at the Lord's house, e'en on Sunday, thou drank wi Curtin Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi warlocks in the mirk by Alloway's auld haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how mony counsels sweet, how mony lengthened sage advices the husband frae the wife despises. But to our tale. A market night, Tam had got planted unco-right, fast by an ingle blazing finely, wi' reemin swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow Suitor Johnny, his ancient, trusty, drouthy crony. Tam lo'ed him like a very brother. They had been fou for weeks together. The night drave on wi' sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious wi' favours secret, sweet and precious. The suitor told his query stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rare and rustle. Tam didna mind the storm a whistle. Care, mad to see a man sae happy, e'en drowned himsel among the nappy. As bees flee hame wi' lades o' treasure, the minutes winged their way wi' pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills o' life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed. Or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flit ere you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time or tide. The hour approaches, Tam man, ride. That hour, o' night's black arch the key stain, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in, and sick a night he tacks the road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as 'twad blown its last, the rattling showers rose on the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep, and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand the Dale had business on his hand. Wheel mounted on his grey mare, Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelp it on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares lest bogles catch him unawares, Kirkalloway was drawing nigh war guests, and Howlett's nightly cry. By this time, he was crossed the ford where in the snow the chapman smoored, and past the birks and Meeklestane where drunken Charlie Brack's neck bane, and through the winds and by the cairn where hunters fund them under bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well where Mungo's mither hinged hersel. Before him Doon pours all his floods. The Dublin storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when glimmering through the groaning trees Kirkalloway seemed in a blaze. Thro' ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou can make us scorn. We tippany, we fear nae evil, Uskaba will face the devil. The swats say reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play, he carried na dales a boddle. But Maggie stood right sair astonished till, by the healing hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light, and wow, Tam saw an unca sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance. Nae cotillon brent new fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east there sat Auld Nick in shape o' beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim and large, to gie them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and gart them skirl till roof and rafters did dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses that showed the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip slight, each in its cauld hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's banes and gibbet airns, twa span lang wee unchristened bairns, a thief new cutted frae a rape, with his last gasp as gab did gape, 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son o life bereft, the grey hairs yet stuck to the heft, wi' mair o horrible and awful, which e'en to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper, loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they click it, till ilka carlin swat and reek it, and cast her duddies to the wark, and linked at it in her sark. Now, Tam, had they been quines, plump and strapping in their teens, their sarks, instead o' creashy flinen, been snow white 1700 linen, their breeks o' mine, my only pair, the ains were plush o' good blue hair, I would ha' gi'en them off my hurdies, for ae blink o' they bonny birdies. But withered beldams, auld and droll, rigwoody hags would spain a foal, louping and flinging on a crummock, I wonder didna turn thy stomach. But Tam kenned what was what, fu brawly, there was ae winsome wench, Anne Wally, that night enlisted in the corps, long after Kent on Carrick shore, for mony a beast to dead she shot, and perished mony a bonny boat, and shook baith meikle corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark, o Paisley Harn, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. Little kenned thy reverend granny, that sark she coughed for her wee nanny, wi' 2 punds Scots, 'twas a' her riches, would e'er ha' graced a dance o' witches. But there, my muse, her wingman cour, sick flights are far beyond her power, to sing how Nanny lap and flang, a supple jade she was, and strang, and how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and thocht his very een enriched. Een Satan glowered, and fidged for fain, and hotched and blew wi' might and main, till first ae caper sign another, Tam tint his reason a'thegither, and roars out, "Well done, cutty sark!" And in an instant all was dark. And scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees bizz out wi' angry fight, when plundering herds assail their bike, as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when "Catch the thief" resounds aloud. So Maggie runs, the witches follow, wi' Money and Eldritch screech and hollow. Ah, Tam, thou'll get thy fare, and hell, they'll roast thee like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now, do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystane o' the brig. There, at them thou thy tail may toss. A running stream they darena cross. But ere the keystone she could make, the faint a tail she had to shake. For Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious ettle. But little was she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off her master hale, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, wha this tale o' truth shall read, ilk man and mither's son, tak heed. Whene'er to drink ye are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o'er dear. Remember, Tam O Shanter's mare.